Hello everyone and welcome to this new tutorial on my channel. And in this video I will be showing you how to make this cute little mushroom bookmark, and it's such a fun small project to make and it looks so nice in your book and it's really cute as a gift as well. I hope you will like the video. If you like it, don't forget to give the thumbs up, this would help me a lot. And also if you get any questions during the video you can comment them down below and I will respond to them as quickly as possible. And let's get started. You will need white and red for the little mushroom and green for the leaf and the chain. And I'm using a combination of 60% cotton with 40% acrylic. You'll need a crochet hook. I use a 3mm hook, scissors, a darning needle and some stuffing. Okay, so we're going to start off by making the little mushroom, and first we're going to make the white bottom part. So for that, grab your white yarn. And first we're going to make a magic circle. If you're not entirely sure how to do this, I've got a separate video on my channel explaining how I'm always doing it, and I will link that down below in the description. Okay, so for round 1, we're going to do 8 single crochet into the magic circle. So go into the circle, grab the yarn, pull it through. Now you got 2 loops on your hook. Grab the yarn once again and pull through both loops on your hook. So that's your first single crochet, and you can see the little V here. We're going to do that 7 more times. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now I've done 8 single crochet. You can always check how many stitches you got by counting the little V's on the side. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is the first one. This is 8. So once you got 8 single crochet, you can close the magic circle. Like that. And that was it for round 1. Now we're going to start on round 2. However, I am not using a stitch marker for this project because it's so small and I think it will just be in the way. However, if you are using a stitch marker, you can put it in the last single crochet that you did from the last round. So now for round 2, we're going to do 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches, and after that we're going to do an increase. We're going to do that 2 times, and because of that we're going from a stitch count of 8 to a stitch count of 10. So let's do that together. First find your first single crochet and do a single crochet. So that's 1. Do 1 in the second one as well. And in the third one. And now into the 4th stitch we're going to do an increase. So go into that space, do a single crochet, go back into the same space and make an increase. Like that. We're going to do that 1 more time. So do 1 single crochet to the next stitch, 1 into the one after that, and do that once more, followed by an increase into the last stitch. So this is the end of round 2, and now you should have a stitch count of 10. And now for round 3 as well as for round 4, so for 2 rounds, we're just going to do 1 single crochet and all of the 10 single crochet we got around. So if you are using a stitch marker, you will move your stitch marker twice, and if you are counting stitches, you will be doing a total of 20 single crochet. So I will meet you at the end of round 4. Okay, so I've just finished round 4 and now it should look something like this. Make sure that the right side of your work is facing outward, and so that is the part of your work facing you. and that the other side is on the inside of your work. So for the next round, we're going to do some decreases. So I already like to put this little yarn end from our magic circle into our work. And because of that, it also won't be in our way anymore. So for the next round, which is round 5, we're going to do 3 single crochet first, followed by a decrease. And because of that, we're going from a stitch count of 10 to a stitch count of 8. So let's first do 3 single crochet. 1 into the first, 1 into the second, 1 into the third. And now for doing the decrease, we're going to grab the outer loops of the little V's only. So here, oh, it's not focusing right. Here is your next stitch, and here's the one after that. And as you can see, there's a whole V. However, we're only going to grab the left loops, so the outer loops. So do that for the first stitch, keep that one on your hook. Go to the next stitch and grab the first loop as well. So now you should have these 2 loops on your hook. Grab the yarn and pull through these 2 loops. Now you got 2 more on your hook, and grab the yarn once again and pull through those 2 as well. So let's do that one more time. Do 1 into the first stitch, 1 into the second, 1 into the third, and for stitch 4 and 5 we're going to do a decrease. So grab the outer loops only, keep that on your hook, next one as well, and do decrease. So that was it for round 5, and now you should be having 8 single crochet around. Now for the next round, which is round 6, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each of those 8 stitches. So the stitch count won't change, we're just going to do 8 single crochet. And I will meet you at the end of round 6. Okay, so I've just finished round 6, and now for round 7 we're going to do a round of increases. So we're going to do 8 increases, and because of that we're going from a stitch count of 8 to a stitch count of 16. So go into the first space, do a single crochet, go back into the same space and make it an increase. So do that 7 more times, and I will meet you at the end of round 7. Okay, so I've just finished round 7, and now you should be having 16 single crochet around. And now we can finish off this part. And one more thing I like to do is do a single crochet into the next stitch, like that, and do a slip stitch into the stitch after that, so that it looks like this. Now you can cut off the yarn. You don't need to leave a long end, you can just cut it short, because we're not going to use this end for sewing. So you can just put that into your work, and that's it for the bottom part. Okay, so now we're going to make the top part of the little mushroom. So for that, grab the red yarn first, and we're going to make a magic circle. Now for this first round, we're going to do 8 single crochet into the magic circle as well, just like we did for the white part. So this is our first single crochet. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, just like that. Now we can close the magic circle. Like that, and Now we can start doing round 2. And for round 2, we're going to do 8 increases. So because of that, we're going from a stitch count of 8 to a stitch count of 16. So let's find our first stitch. It's the one right here. And do a increase. Like that. Okay, do that 7 more times. $15, $16. So that's it for round 2. Now for round 3 and 4, we're just going to do 16 single crochet. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of those 16 stitches. So if you are moving your stitch marker, this means once again that you're going to move your stitch marker twice. And if you're counting stitches, this means that you will be doing a total of 32 single crochet. So let's do that, and I will meet you at the end of round 4. Okay, so I finished round 4. Now we're going to do a slip stitch into the next one. And we can cut off the yarn end. Leave quite some end to it because we're going to need that for sewing. So it's better to cut it a bit too long than too short. So something like this is okay. Pull that through. And now we're going to make the little white dots on the top of our mushroom. So for that, grab your white yarn and we're just going to cut off short ends of yarn. And it doesn't have to be an exact length. However, I would say somewhere in between 10 centimeters and 15 centimeters should work. For this tutorial, I'm going to cut them a bit longer so that it's easier to sew them on. So I would say this is around 15 centimeters. And we're going to cut a total of 6. So I've already cut 4 ends. This is 5. And last one, 6. So that's enough. Now what we're going to do for all of these is we're going to make double knots into them. So grab one yarn end, make a loop, and pull one yarn end through, and make sure that you make such a knot around the middle of the yarn end, like that. Now we're going to make one more knot into the same yarn end, and make sure that it lines up with the previous knot, like that. And pull it tightly. And that is our first little dot. Do that for these other 5 as well, and I will meet you once they're all done. Okay, so I'm now finished with making double knots into these 6 pieces of yarn. So that means that we can start sewing them onto the top of the little mushroom. And for placing them, what I always do is I make a triangle shape first, so this one. And by doing that, I attach the little dots in between row 2 and 3, so at the end of round 2. Then, once I got this triangle, I make another triangle. However, this one, I place them on the edge of round 3. So not really in between round 3 and 4, but on the edge right there, as you can see. So let's do that together. Grab the top of your little mushroom, and let's first grab 3 yarn pieces. Okay. Get your darning needle and attach one end to the darning needle first, like this. Okay, now grab the top part, and we're going to look for a place where we want to put it. There is not an exact position, however, as I said, I always put it in between round 2 and 3. So let's see. This is in between round 2 and 3. However, I don't go into a stitch, so not into a hole of a stitch, because if you do that, the little dot can disappear into your work because it fits through the hole of the stitch. So I always go a little above it into a space at the edge of round 2. So for example, right here. So not into a hole of a stitch, but just a little more above it, for example. So like this. Now grab the other yarn end of the piece of yarn. Okay, go through that one as well. You can pull it a bit loose if you need more moving space with your darning needle. And now just move a little to the side, a little bit, just some strings, some little strings, and go back into your work with the other yarn end. Okay, pull that through, and you can check whether it sits correctly like that, and it does. So that's the first one. Let's just leave it there. Now we're going to grab our second piece of yarn, and we're going to do the same thing. So grab one yarn end. Let's see if we want to make a triangle. This one should be on top, for example. So then this one can go somewhere around here. So again, don't go into a hole of a stitch, just go a little above there, like that. Grab the other yarn end and move a little bit to the side, like that, and go back into your work. Okay, tighten it by pulling the 2 yarn ends. And that is our second dot already. Okay, now let's finish triangle. So grab your last piece of yarn. Okay. The edge of round 2. So that's right here. Go somewhere above a hole of a stitch. And grab the other yarn end as well. Okay, move a little to the side, like so. And tighten it. So those are our first 3 dots. And to make it a bit less chaotic, I already like to attach these first before we're going to attach the other 3 dots. So for really securing them, what I always do is I grab the 2 yarn ends of the little dots and I make a double knot into them on the inside. So just make 1 knot and secure it by making another one. Okay, and do that for all of them. Okay, something weird happened here. I think I went through one of the yarn ends with my darning needle when I attach the other yarn end, but I can just pull it out of there. It's no big deal, but it looked a bit weird. Okay, make a double knot like so. And now you can already cut off these ends as well. Make sure you don't cut off this long yarn end because we're really gonna need that for sewing. But you can cut off all of the other yarn ends. So also this middle one that we had for the magic circle, you can also cut that one off. Like that. And this is the inside of our work, but this is the outside of our work, so that looks better. Now we're going to attach the other 3 dots. So grab one. Okay, attach it to the darning needle. And the previous ones, we did them in between round 2 and 3. And these 3, we're going to put them in between round 3 and 4, so on the edge of round 3. And we're just going to put them in between the 2 dots that we did previously. So one will go right here, one will go right there, and one will go, let's see, right there. So let's do the first one. Again, don't go into a stitch, but a little above that, like that. So here's a stitch, and we're going a little above there. Okay, pull that through. Now you can grab the other yarn end, move a little to the side, and there it is attached. Now do the other 2 as well, and I will meet you once we can double knot them on the inside. Okay, so I have placed all of the dots onto the work now where I want them to be. And as you can see, the outer triangle is just every time in between 2 dots of 1 row above. So for example, this one's in between these 2. This one's in between these 2. And this one's in between these 2. So once you got them like this, you can put your work inside out and double knot them together. Okay, this is the last one already. And then you can cut off the yarn ends once again as well. Oops. Okay, so now it should look something like this, and then the top part is done. What we can do now is we can grab all of the yarn ends that we got from the dots on the mushroom, and we can use that as stuffing for the bottom part of our little mushroom. Of course, you can also use fiber fill. However, since we already got all of these yarn ends, we might as well use them as stuffing. So grab some yarn ends like that. And now you can grab your scissors or your crochet hook, whatever works, and just push them in there. Like so. Okay. Just make sure that you stuff it till like this edge right here where we did the decreases. So I can put in a bit more. Like that. That's good enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew the top part to the bottom part of the little mushroom. Okay, so for that, grab your darning needle and grab the long red yarn end of the top part of the mushroom and pull that through the darning needle. Okay, so what we're going to do for sewing the top part onto the bottom part is we're only gonna go through the outer loops of the little V's. So from here to there, for example. And we're going to do that all the way around. So let's first make sure that this yarn end is coming out of an outer loop. So this stitch is where we did the slip stitch. So we're going to go to the next stitch and just go through the outer loop of the next stitch like this. Now we're gonna grab the bottom part and we're gonna look for a random stitch, doesn't have to be an exact one, and just grab the outer loop like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make this motion. I'm aware that I am left-handed, so I sew with my left hand as well. If you're doing this right-handed, you're just gonna do it the opposite way. So for example, like this, and then you're gonna go like that. So not that big of a difference, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next stitch of the top part, grab the outer loop, find the next outer loop on the bottom part, so that's this one, and pull it through there, like that. So we're just gonna keep doing that. So this is the next stitch on the top part, this is the next stitch on the bottom part, and go through there. Okay. This is the next stitch on the top part, this is the next stitch on the bottom part, and go through there as well. So just keep on making the same motion. Here is where we did the slip stitch of the bottom part. So right there, I will explain to you what to do because it's a little bit different. But again, it's the same motion. So just keep on going through the outer loops. All right, so here is where we did the slip stitch. And instead of going through the slip stitch as an outer loop, it's a little difficult to see. But instead of going through the slip stitch as next stitch, I grab the stitch under that in which we did the slip stitch. And then after that, I skip the slip stitch and go into the stitch right after that. Because the slip stitch is a little less secure. And therefore, I prefer to go into the stitch right underneath that. So don't grab this loop, but go one stitch underneath that and grab this one. Like that. Now again, go into the next stitch and skip the slip stitch and just go right there. It's just making your work a little more secure. Okay, keep doing this and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I've just done the last one, and now what I like to do is to make one knot here to secure it. So I go into a random loop of the top part, which is close. So for example, this one. Then I make a loop like this. I go through the loop with my darning needle and I secure it so that I've got this little knot going on here. Then I go into my work, so find a stitch close to the knot that you just made, so for example this one, and come out of the top part of the mushroom. So for example, that's here. Okay, like that. And now the mushroom still looks a bit odd, but that's okay, because what we're going to do now is we're going to push this inwards here. this part in between the top part and the bottom part. And because of that, the top will become flat and it will look a bit more like a mushroom. So just push it like this and push it inward with your thumb right here so that it gets this shape. So then it should look something like this. Okay, once you got that, you can make another knot at the top part of the mushroom just to make it more secure. So grab one little piece of yarn from the magic circle, for example this one, make a loop, go through the loop and make a knot like that. Now what you can do is you go back into your work by going into the magic circle, to the middle of the magic circle, go all the way down and come out of the magic circle that you made for the bottom part. So right there. Okay, then you can push it through. And then you can cut it off and hide the yarn end just by pushing it a bit like this. And that's it for the little mushroom. So now we can start make the leaf and the chain. Okay, so we're gonna start off by making the leaf. So for that, grab your green yarn and make a slip knot. So make a loop like this and pull through the long yarn end and tighten it like that. Okay, put that on your crochet hook. And now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 9 chains. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first one, then we're going to do a single crochet, followed by a half double crochet, then we're going to do a double crochet, then we're going to do 2 triple crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. And then we're going to go to the other side of our chain. So let's do that together. So we're going to skip the first one and into the next one do a single crochet, just like that. Okay, now go to the next one and there we're going to do a half double crochet. So first yarn over, go into the next chain, pull through. Now you got 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all of the 3 loops on your hook at the same time, like this. That's our half double crochet. Now for the double crochet, we're going to yarn over, go into the next chain, pull through. Now you got 3 loops on your hook once again. However, we're only going to pull through the first 2 loops on our hook for this one. So yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, like this. Now once again, you got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2. So that's our double crochet. For a triple crochet, we're going to yarn over twice, like this. And now we're going to go into the chain. Okay, pull through. Now you got 4 loops on your hook. So what we're going to do once again is we're only going to pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. So yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, like this. So now you should have 3 more. Okay, yarn over once again and pull through the first 2 loops, like that. And now for the last time, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. So that's a triple crochet. So for finishing this side, we're just going to do the same stitches. However, we're going to do it in the opposite order. So for the next stitch, we're once again going to do a triple crochet. So yarn over twice, go into the next chain. Okay, pull through the first 2. Once again, through the first 2 and the last 2, like this. Now do a double crochet, so yarn over, go into the next space, like this. Now you got 3 loops on your hook, pull through the first 2 and do that once again, like that. Now we're going to do a half double crochet, so yarn over, go into the next chain. Okay, pull through. Now you got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all of the 3 loops, like that. Okay, we're gonna finish by doing a single crochet into the last chain, like that. So that's the first side of our leaf. Now for the other side, we're just going to do the exact same thing. However, first we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. Then we're going to move to the other side. So right here, start off by doing a single crochet as well, like that. And also I will be crocheting over this yarn end so that we don't have to sew that in. You don't have to do that, but it just it saves time later. Okay, so we did our first single crochet, yarn over, go into the next space, so that's right here, do a half double crochet, like that. Okay, yarn over, do a double crochet into the next one, like that, yarn over twice, do a triple crochet into the next one, like that. Once again, do a triple crochet into the next one, like that. Do a double crochet, a half double crochet, and in the last space you should be putting in a single crochet, like that. Okay, so then it should look something like this. Now you can cut off this short yarn end, okay, like that, and you can hide it by just pulling this a bit and then it's gone. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're first going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch that we did. So that's the single crochet right there. So do a slip stitch here, like this. And now we're going to make a chain. You can make it as long as you like. However, I always make a chain of 65. So you can just keep on making chains, and maybe you can first try 65 and try it into your book. And if you think it's a bit too short, you can make it longer. And if you think it's a bit too long, you can make it shorter. That's totally up to you. So I will meet you once you got your desired length. Okay, so I've just done 65 chains and I will cut off the yarn end, leave quite some end to it because we're going to have to sew it onto the mushroom. Okay, pull that through. And now let's sew this onto the mushroom. Okay, so grab your darning needle and attach it to the yarn end on the chain, like this. Okay, now get your mushroom, and for attaching it, what I always do is I go to the middle part of the top part of the mushroom, which is the magic circle, and from here I first grab one string from one side of the magic circle, and after that I will go to the other side. So let me show you. I'll grab a bit of a bigger string like that. Oops. Okay, then I will go through there. Then I go to the other side of the magic circle and I grab a string there as well, like that. Then it should look something like this. Then I go back with my yarn to that side by going through the last chain that we did. So into the chain, I go from one side to the other side, like that. Okay, pull that through there. Okay, leave a loop, because now we're going into the loop with our darning needle to make a knot. So go in there and tighten it by pulling both of the chain and the yarn end. Okay, make sure this is really tight. And now what you can do is go into a space close to your yarn end. So for example, for me right there. Okay, and push your needle all the way through the mushroom to the bottom part once again. So come out of the magic circle at the bottom and pull it through there. Now you can cut off the yarn end. Okay, you can hide it a bit more by pushing it in there with your darning needle, and then it should be gone. So now your bookmark is finished. I hope it all worked out for you and that you are happy with your little mushroom bookmark. If you liked the video, don't forget to give the thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I hope I will see you in another video. So thank you for watching and see you.